Witnessing spring in the backcountry is like watching the birth of an old soul. A beautiful symphony of events that takes place as it rebuilds itself to its former glory. Venturing out this time of year may not be for the faint of heart, with cold mornings and even colder water temperatures. But a little bit of suffering never hurt anybody. It's probably done a lot of people good. Woo! We are back for another season of paddling, and in the heart of Algonquin, from all places. Starting on Canoe Lake, and we're gonna do our first loop of the season. We're both pretty pumped, other than we got a bit of headwind, but that's all right. It's a pretty nice day for the start of May. I feel like ice out only happened here like a week or two ago. We wanted to get out sooner, but weekends haven't been super nice, so it's been hard to get motivated. Figure if we kind of do a dip this way, we can maybe get out of the worst of this wind, even though it's kind of helping us, but making it hard to stay straight. That too. Got wet legs and it's cold, so it's not pleasant. Well, we made it across Canoe Lake. It's the start of our journey. Algonquin Park was the first provincial park in Ontario and is home to 1,000 species of plants, 53 different fish, and 53 mammals. We just pulled around the corner to the Portage and it looks busy. Oh no. I hate portages with lineups.
So far, portage is very easy, except for there's lots of people, so we have to keep Nona on a leash, which none of us are used to. There is a composting toilet on the portage, which I've never ever seen in my entire life. So far, my opinion of Algonquin is that it's bougie.
First portage of the year. Woo! Super happy to be back out here. Back in the boat, Nona. Okay, Nona, can you lay down? I gotta smell these guys. Lay down. Joe Lake is one of the most easily accessible lakes in Algonquin Park, which also means it's the busiest, especially in July and August. It is, however, a great spot for first-timers, since it only involves one easy 300-meter portage. We ended up deciding to take a pass on first sight and go at least as far as we can today, so that we have more time to enjoy tomorrow. Really, we can't go much more than a half a kilometer or so beyond this point, because we're booked in on Tom Thomson, Joe Lake, which is a pretty tiny lake to begin with. Might be something to duck back in there. Might as well check her out. Oy, oy, oy. Got moose poo. Well, is it home for the night, my love? Well, I think we found our home for the night. We're pretty much the most northern end of Joe Lake. Probably the last site on actually Joe before you head into Teepee. Sites are pretty nice and flat. So far, Algonquin is busy as expected, but Probably not nearly as bad as it is in the summer, so neither of us are complaining. They had a fish for a second. It looked like a fish. The way she was dangling it. There's a pretty nice cliff right behind me that our site faces, and it's very tempting to climb the cliff.
Oh no! It's too little now. Yeah, it's too little.
Gotta love it when the site has a footrest. The stones on this site are pretty interesting. It almost looks like they were cut or something. So many square edges. So unusual when you see that kind of thing in nature. It's time for a fire. Getting a fire going this time of year can often be difficult, since as recently as a couple weeks ago, everything was buried in snow. Definitely a little bit of a pain getting the fire going this time of year, and especially when it's rained for the last few days off and on. Well, we got her going. I just had to give her a little blowjob. This section of Algonquin is known to have a bear problem, so be sure to use the provided bear hangs when available. Oof. There goes the hair on my arm. Sometimes I forget how much I love it out here in the morning. There's nothing better than the sound of the birds and the sound of the water in the morning. Today, we're not doing the biggest push. Well, we haven't really decided if we're doing the biggest push or not. We got a bunch of portages, like 8 portages we could do to loop up to the top end of Burnt Island Lake, or we could just go up and see Tom Thomson and then scroll our way down through 2 portages, I believe, and go to Burnt Island Lake and just hang out for the day. We're gonna kind of play it by ear. The only thing about mornings out here this time of year is they're kind of cold, so you do a bit of suffering when you get up, but a little bit of suffering never hurt anybody. Probably did a lot of people good. And 10 seconds of paddling to be on TP Lake. We were pretty much on the verge of it last night. We could kind of see both lakes from our campsite. That would have been a nice campsite to have last night. A little bit more wind protection than what we had at our site. We're still noticing patches of ice hanging off some of the rock cliffs that face away from the sun. Lets you know that ice out didn't happen that long ago. The water is definitely still sketchy this time of year. You do not want to go for a swim, that's for sure. It's always in the back of my mind, and always reminding me to be careful this time of year. loving this paddle up from Joe Lake. Just a lot of little lakes connected by narrow sections like the one we're passing through right now. Makes for a nice paddle free of portages. If you're looking for an easy trip, I'd definitely recommend doing the paddle up to Tom Thomson. Very good beginner trip, and you could still make it a tiny loop if you wanted to over to Burnt Island. Lay down. Every year we gotta reteach Nona canoe etiquette. First trip's always a pain, and it's always extra fun because the water's cold. So she always wants to stand up in the canoe and try and capsize us. She hasn't learned yet. Memory of a goldfish, I tell you. We're just entering the narrow channel that's going to take us over to Tom Thomson Lake. Hopefully it's everything I dreamed it would be. Beavers are trying to stop us. Pretty easily passable. Castle's boat might have struggled a little bit more than mine, but both got through pretty easy. Well, we made it to Tom Thomson. Feel like this lake is kind of infamous in the Algonquin lakes. Maybe not necessarily the view, but the person it's named after. If you're not familiar with who Tom Thomson is, you should go check him out. He's part of the Group of Seven, which was a group of famous artists that featured landscapes of Algonquin and I believe Killarney. And they made some pretty spectacular artwork. So this is the point in the trip where we gotta make a decision whether we're gonna take the hard route or the easy route for the rest of the day. There are some stuff we want to see on the harder route, but not sure if it's worth it or not. Hard to say until we've done it. Tom Thomson's works consist almost entirely of landscapes depicting trees, skies, lakes, and rivers. He met an untimely demise at the age of 39 from a drowning incident. Well, I guess we've made our mind up, and we're taking the hard way, because we're now entering Bartlett Lake. Hopefully Sunbeam's worth it. Had to go in the water. Oh, God. Gave her a perfectly nice spot to land. Nice little beach spot to land. This would almost make a nice campsite. It's like the tail of a salamander. Something ate it.
Still lots of snow. Smile.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Almost a wet foot. Not quite. Trying to keep warm feet is tough sometimes. Nothing like a good swamp paddle. We gathered from looking at the map that when water levels are low, this turns into probably 1,000-meter portage by the time you combine this one and the next one, and walking around this swamp. So, good thing the water levels are plenty fine for us to get through here. Wouldn't take much of a drop for it to become difficult though. And we've reached the end of the line. It's a little bit worse than it looked from the start, but we made it through. Yeah, that end was tough.
I like that we didn't have to get wet feet for this. So far, I am pro these portages. What happened?
It's always funny to me when they name a lake seemingly ironically For instance, Willow Lake, I haven't spotted a single willow on it. Maybe it's named after a person. What are you doing, Steven? There he goes. So majestic. Personally, we didn't find this stretch of portages to be all that difficult, but if you're a beginner or somebody looking for an easy trip, I'd plan on just tackling these for the day and spending the night on Sunbeam. Another sock. What is with Algonquin and sock?
So far, the portages aren't too bad. Definitely have seen way worse. Not as easy, I think, as we were expecting, but I mean, I've also heard people talk about the portages in Algonquin.
Welcome to Sunbeam. This was the mission for the morning. Now we get to stop for a little bit of a late lunch. The map shows a little bit of a waterfalls apparently on the north side that we're gonna go check out, and then head down to the beach because it's, you know, a nice sunny day. So why not spend some time on the beach and have lunch? The sun is trying to work its way out, so hopefully we get more of that as the day progresses. Pretty cool little waterfalls. Glad we stopped to check this out. You'd be one lucky person in the summer to get this site. This would be one sweet little site. You can definitely see the aftermath of the tornado that went through back in 2021 here. Tons of level trees. It's even sandy here. But yeah, the beach was a bit of a disappointment.
It's poetic, the sun.
Yeah, it was kind of funny how it's sunny on Sunbeam all of a sudden. Another sock.
There's two here. Oh, and a glove. We haven't been filming this phenomenon because originally we thought it was just like a one-off. But every single portage we've been on in this park has at least minimum one sock on it. Not sure if the park has got like its own little fetish going on, or there's lots of socks if you need free socks. They're here in Algonquin.
It was quite astounding coming across this portage and seeing the aftermath of the 2021 tornado.
They really meant a tornado.
10-second paddle and another portage. Oh well. Only 3 more to go for the day. Oh. There's a rock here. girl. Nona. Wait. I'll tell you when it's okay. Okay. Dogs. I'll tell you what.
Second last portage. I think we're both feeling a little wrecked. Into the season this wouldn't be so bad, but for our first trip, there's a lot of portages.
Lay down, Nona. Rest you in my boat. I've been waiting all night long just to talk to you. The final portage. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. What's that? 680. 680. Ugh. Ugh.
So it's the longest and the hardest.
And the last.
So if I don't get out of the boat, I don't have to do the portage.
That's true. Staying here.
That's nice.
One more to go.
I just want to celebrate. It's the last portage. Celebrate.
Happy to be on Burnt Island after this one. We may have pushed ourselves just a little too hard for the first trip of the year.
100%, and it's my fault. I planned the trip. It is not a bad portage. I think if you're coming from the other direction, this would suck. For us, it's going down, which is nice. On season, it wouldn't be so muddy. So right now, we're just trying to be careful and not fall. Ryan already slipped. There's his slip marks. Luckily, he didn't fall.
Welcome to Burnt Island Lake. This is a sight for sore eyes. Glad to be looking for a sight for the night, that's for sure. And this looks like one beautiful lake. Definitely one of the nicer lakes we passed through on the trip. Big open water, but not scary big, especially with what little wind we have right now. We're kind of hoping for the Camp Menacing Lodge Ruins site. Can't get that one. Definitely one with a sunset, because we might actually get a decent sunset this evening because the clouds are opening up. But they're still around, so that means picture perfect sunset sometime. Walking along. Who's that? We didn't end up taking the Lodge Ruin site. It wasn't a very nice site, so we ended up taking the one next to it. What we did do is learn from our mistake last night, and we're gonna get the fire going a lot earlier tonight, because by the time we actually got the fire rolling last night, it was like after dark. We're gonna start it a lot earlier today, so we can actually enjoy it.
He's alive.
You're alive. Getting a little bit of a late start today. Sometimes it's nice this time of year to just sleep away the cold mornings. Still have a big day ahead of us, but at least the portages are a lot shorter than what we went through yesterday. So it shouldn't be a big deal because we got to get out of here today. So far, I really like this route. Overall, pretty scenic, pretty nice. I'd definitely be up for coming back to this area, that's for sure. If you're looking for an easy trip, probably just come up to Burnt Island. You could spend a couple days just exploring this lake alone. It's pretty spacious, that's for sure. Anyways, let's get on the water. Wait. We both almost forgot we were stopping here today. Super cool spot. Basically exactly what I was picturing in my mind. The Camp Menacing Lodge ruins are located in the southwest corner of Burnt Island Lake. They were built in 1913 and were one of 3 CN Railway hotels within the park. We were a little disappointed that we couldn't find the water tower at the top of the hill. The trail just kind of dead-ended, and we looked around for a little bit but couldn't find anything, so we got a schedule to keep, so we got to keep going. If we had more time, we probably would have found it.
There he goes again, dripping on a portage. Now you took your shoes off for that?
Yeah. Seeing how much you struggled, and I was trying to be quick about the whole thing. Can't be too bad if you're paddling up it.
Yeah, this last 100 feet is a top goal.
Okay. We were a little unsure how this section was going to go, but so far it's really nice. Doing all the work for me. It's a nice put-in, holy. Now we're seeing the luxurious portages of Algonquin. I feel like that section was better than both of us expected. Probably not so great in the summertime, but 100% runnable right now. Just easy, smooth current. So that saved us a bunch of portages. If you're planning on doing this loop, especially if it's in the spring, I definitely recommend doing it in the direction that we did it, just to save all those little portages. Although we did see one guy working his way up in a canoe, so and now we're on Little Joe. We are officially almost back to the site we stayed on the first night, which means we're into the part of the trip where we got to repeat a little bit of what we did at the start, which is pretty typical of a loop, but it's really not that bad. It's probably only going to be an hour or so of repeat in one portage, so it's an ideal loop in my mind. We couldn't ask for a better day to be paddling out of here. We got tailwinds, should carry us pretty much the whole way. Beautiful time to be paddling Algonquin. Crack wizard. Yeah. I don't know who the crack wizard is, but sounds cool. Final portage. As we made our way across Canoe Lake, my mind raced with final thoughts about this trip. This trip would be great for beginner canoeists. It's hard to beat the history of Algonquin Park, but also I'm guessing this is a zoo in August. I don't know if I'll be back to this area for a while, but the memories will sure stick with me. Castle said it'd be funny if there was a little figurine in the lighthouse. Somebody should add that.